Hiya, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today I have a project that is starting out using Silhouette Studio and my silhouette, but you don't actually need this. You could use your Cricut or even just a pair of scissors, to be honest. What this is a project that I did probably 10 years ago, but my mum would like me to remake this card. This was something that I had put into Silhouette. It had to be updated for the current version, which it's done. So we've got two saturated Canary images here, which I then created a cut line around. I'm not going to go into the detail on how you do that today, as that was covered in last time's video, and this time we're going to look at the things that we didn't cover in last time, so the two together will work really nicely, and also you'll see a slightly different look to the finished card as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to print these out. We're not going to cut them because I'm going to colour them first. The good thing with the Silhouette is because it puts these markers on, you can do it that way. So you can print it out, colour it, and then you put it on the mat and it will find these markers with its little optic, and it knows exactly the position of these from those markers, so it's able to do that. Even if you put this sort of piece of paper all wonky in the middle of the mat, it will work it out and find it for you. It's really good in that way. The other thing I've got is a scroll. This is an image that I had, the scroll itself, a cut image that I had from Silhouette. Again, I'm sure if you've got dies, or because I know I've got a die that will give me this sort of paper, torn paper look, you could do that. You could even use one of those rulers that tear to do that. And then this bit here, I'm sure again you could cut that just by hand, even just straight, if you don't have the dies or a Cricut or a Silhouette. So you could make it work easily enough without needing these actual specific images. Unfortunately, because they're quite old, I suspect they're not these particular ones aren't probably available. The actual text is a scripture that I typed myself and added in and made it fit to the size that I wanted it to be. And again, we've got the little optic things here to help us or to help it be able to find that later. So it'll print this out as well. So we're going to do both. Then we're going to go over to the table and we're going to colour in our images and go from there. So we're going to start off with the colouring, which is the part that we missed last time on the video. I don't know why I didn't show it, but for some reason I didn't show it. I think I was focusing more on the procedure of how to create these images to be cut through the Silhouette, etc., and then finishing the card itself. So you'll get a lot more tutorial on how you can do the cutting part of it, but the colouring part, as I say, was completely missed off. So this time I'm doing it the opposite way round. Now obviously you need to bear in mind that the video was made some time ago and it's a very old version of the Silhouette, so the principles are probably the same, but it may be slightly different technically, but the idea is there. But as I said in my previous part of this video, you could easily cut this out either using your Cricut or just by hand. To be honest, it's not a difficult images to cut out by hand. So all we're going to be doing now is colouring this in. I have sped it up, but I haven't sped it up quite as much as I normally do when I do the colouring. So normally I sort of do maybe 4 to 6 times faster, but I decided that really the point of these videos is to show you the colouring. And I know it makes for a longer video if I don't speed it up as much, but when I speed it up that much, sometimes you lose some of the detail of the actual colouring. So I have sped it up a little, so it's twice as much or twice as fast, but as I say, not as fast as I would normally do. So I hope that you enjoy that. Let me know what you prefer. Do you prefer it being slightly longer in length for the video but slightly slower to watch, or do you prefer it sped up a bit quicker and have that shorter video? As I say, from my point of view, I kind of thought that it would be better to have it slower and actually be able to see the colouring, which was the kind of point of the video, but obviously that's only my perspective and I want to do what you guys want, so do let me know in the comments what you prefer. And that is it while we do some colouring. As always, I think the best thing is just to let you watch, enjoy. I'll put some music on. If you don't like the music, just switch it to silent. As soon as the colouring's finished, you can bring the volume back on if you want to hear me chit chat and explain what I'm doing. Okay, so let's get on to some music and enjoy this colouring.
You were gone. You say you were not, but I was so alone in the night. How can you act so bright? And now we're strangers. You kept me company. I didn't want them. Believe me, I wanted you. I only wanted you. He says he loves me as long as the day is white from morning to night. Standing in there, hands in my hair, lost for words. Where do you wanna be? I'm talking about you and me. What do you want? What do you see? And where is forever reside? travel the day, oh darling. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Well, it's about as new as last year's rain pouring down from the sky so high. And you get used to knowing everything about each other, so you don't ask why. Oh, but you better not forget or reclaim the world as ours and left it to the days to come. Where do you wanna be? I'm talking about you and me. What do you want? What do you see? And where is forever residing? The girl's gotta make her peace with the man to understand things. Clear out the way, the travel, the day, oh darling. Where do you want to be? The dreams I have, oh I plan everything, from the cups in the kitchen to every little niche, to us running to each other like an old-time movie. I don't mean to push, but I was just wondering where you wanted to be. Where do you wanna be? I'm talking about you and me. What do you want? What do you see? And where is forever residing? The girl's gotta make her peace with a man to understand things. Clear out the way, the travel, the day, oh darling. Where do you want to be? Met you in the parking lot after class. Said you liked my polka dots. Pick me up every day after that. We were attached at the hip or something like that. Time flies, now you're on the East Coast. Missing my best friend more than anybody knows. See your face, maybe at the holidays. Thinking back, things were pretty great. Missed your call again. It's a 2-hour difference. Wanna make this right tonight. Take me back. Can you take me back? Baby, all the way to the easy days. Take me back. Can you take me back? I don't wanna fight. I don't care who's right. Can you take me back? Home again, everything looks the same. Past the place where we had our first date. Miss the days of young love till they fade. Wishing things never had to change. Missed your call again. It's a 2-hour difference. Wanna make this right tonight. Take me back. Can you take me back? Baby, all the way to the easy days. Take me back. Can you take me back? I don't wanna fight. I don't care who's right. Can you take me Maybe back? We could run away. Maybe we could find a place. It doesn't have to be this way. Oh baby, maybe we could run away. Maybe we could find a place. It doesn't have to be this way. Oh baby, take me back. Can you take me back? Baby, all the way. Take me back. Can you take me back? Baby, all the way to the easy days. Can you take me back? Can you take me back? I don't wanna fight. I don't care who's right. Can you take me back? I've been packing, waiting on the weather, thinking about you and me. When you told me that I was your treasure, I knew we could do anything. Don't tell a single soul, we'll catch a train and go. Just light it up and glow. Oh, this is our fantasy. Tonight we're breaking free. We'll beat it, you and me. Oh, baby, we could run away into the night, and we could shine forever. Baby, we could run away moonlight, reality into a dream. Keep my secret, bury it at twilight. I'm trusting you with everything. Don't tell a single soul, we'll catch a train and go. Just light it up and glow. Oh, this is our fantasy. Tonight we're breaking free. We'll beat it, you and me. Oh, baby, we could run away into the night and we could shine forever. Baby, we could run away. Look in my eyes, we'll cut and run together. Come on, get up and go. We'll leave today. Oh my darling, this is our great escape. Baby, we could run away into the night and we could shine forever. Like he likes the sunny side, she likes the shady. Diner every day, 8 in the morning. Dear, they're in their 70s. That could be you and me. Have you ever pictured us in the future? Is this too much, or have you ever wondered? Look at me, come on, let's dream. I wanna share my socks with you. I wanna cook pancakes at 2, and all of a sudden we're inspired to write a song on the kitchen counter. You, oh, I see you in my thoughts and in my dreams. I hope that you see me too. You, oh, you're still teaching me guitar. Oh baby, you can do it, and I complain that it's too high. You know the times when we're stopped at the red lights. I say a random name and you ask if it's for my child, the little girl with the curls. You smile and laugh at me, say the name's a little too quirky, but it's fine, we've got the time. Oh darling, how did I get you? Oh, I see you in my thoughts and in my dreams. I hope that you see me too. You, and you're still teaching me guitar. Oh baby, you can do it, and I complain that it's too hard. Oh, we're taking road trips in the car just to get away, to see a brand new place. He likes the sunny side, she likes the shady. Diner every day, 8 in the morning. Dear, they're in their 70s. That could be you and me. Okay, baby, what you want, just tell me. There's only so much I can do, but let's just act like that ain't true. Oh, 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 let's pretend. Yeah, 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 that I've got the goods to save you from what they call the end. Oh, 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 let's pretend I don't feel like giving in if nothing else. I'll imagine bed. Until then, let's pretend. You've got so much life in you that you've got to touch. So breathe in from your head to your toes. Feel it like you know. Oh, 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 oh. Let's pretend. Yeah, 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 yeah. That I've got the goods to save from what they call the end. Oh, oh, oh. Let's pretend that I feel like giving in. If nothing else, I'll imagine bed. Until then, just a simple word is more than before. It's all we've got now, so spread them far and deep. So it's all you see, it's all we've got now. I feel like pretending everything is oh, oh, oh. Let's pretend. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That I've got the goods to save you from what they call the end. Oh, 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 oh. Let's pretend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That I've got the goods to save you from what they call the end. Oh, 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 oh. Let's pretend that I feel like giving in. If nothing else, I'll imagine her. Until then, let's pretend. Yeah, let's pretend. He says he loves me as long as the day is white from morning to night. Standing in there, hands in my hair, lost for words. Where do you wanna be? I'm talking about you and me. What do you want? What do you see? And where is forever residing? The girl's gotta make her peace with a man to understand things. Clear out the way, the drive of the day, oh darling. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Well, it's about as new as last year's rain pouring down from the sky so high. And you get used to knowing everything about each other, so you don't ask why. Oh, but you better not forget or reclaim the world as ours and laughter too. The days to come. Where do you wanna be? I'm talking about you and me. What do you want? What do you see? And where is forever residing? The girl's gotta make her peace with a man to understand things. Clear out the way, the drive of the day, oh darling. Where do you want to be? Dreams I have, oh I plan everything. From the cups in the kitchen to every little niche, to us running to each other like an old time movie. I don't mean to push, but I was just wondering where you wanted to be. Where do you wanna be? I'm talking about you and me. What do you want? What do you see? And where is far ever residing? The girl's gotta make her peace with a man to understand things, clear out the way, the drive of the day. Oh, darling, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? And I'm feeling fly. It's hot with the sunny sky. We laugh out like every night. We can do what we want to. We roll with the windows down, meet up with the boys in town. We go out around and round, young and free, no place to be. Hey, we go where we want to. Hey, it's right when it's our crew. Hey, we play it like our rules. It's our life. We go hard every night, stay up to the sunlight. Tick-tock, taking our time. It's alright, alright. Turn on, kick it and drive. Can't stop living so high. It's the time of our life. It's alright, alright, yeah. Lay out in the beachy air, forget every single care. Breathe in and lay down your hair. Live and play like every day. We got what we need right here. We're tight and that's crystal clear. We get it right every year, and we know that's how it goes. Hey, we go where we want to. Hey, it's right when it's our crew. Hey, we play it like our rules. It's our life. We go hard every night, stay up to the sunlight. Tick-tock, taking our time. It's alright, alright. Turn on, kick it and drive. Can't stop living so high. It's the time of our life. It's alright, alright. Oh, we on the night. It's alright, 'cause we never stop. Yeah, we on the night. It's alright, 'cause we never stop. We go hard every night. Oh, we stay up till the sunlight. Oh, we go hard every night, stay up till the sunlight. Tick-tock, taking our time. It's alright, alright. And turn on, kick it and drive. Can't stop living so high. It's the time of our life. It's alright, alright. Oh, we on the night. It's alright, 'cause we never stop. Oh, we on the night. It's alright, 'cause we never stop. Oh. Kissing in the rain, walking on the beach. I can see it now, almost happening. Sneaking out at night, living like we're free. You and I could do anything we please. You've got the face to fit the frame. I cannot look away. Like, can't you see I'm hypnotized? We're picture perfect, sweet like candy. I'll be your girl, yeah, I'll be your baby. Picture perfect, barefoot beauty. You stole my heart just like in a movie. Got the key to me. Tell me I'm your darling daisy. Picture perfect, sweet like candy. I'll be your girl, yeah. yeah, I'll be your baby. Spinning me around, falling on the ground. Got to say your voice is my favorite sound. Counting every star, dreaming every dream. You and I can live out the perfect scene. You've got the face to fit the frame. I cannot look away. Like, can't you see I'm hypnotized? We're picture perfect, sweet like candy. I'll be your girl, yeah, I'll be your baby. Picture perfect, barefoot beauty. You stole my heart just like in a movie. Got the key and tell me I'm your darling Daisy. Picture perfect, sweet like candy. I'll be your girl, yeah, I'll be your baby. I saw your face in my dream. You and I had everything. A fairy tale, a fantasy. We could be anything. I saw your face in my dream. A fairy tale, a fantasy. We could be anything. We're picture perfect, sweet like candy. I'll be your girl, I'll be your baby. Picture perfect, barefoot beauty. You stole my heart just like in a movie. Got the key and tell me I'm your darling Daisy. Picture perfect, sweet like candy. I'll be your girl, yeah, I'll be your baby. Doesn't know, but then again we'll see. Oh, I think it's snowing outside. You wanna run away with me. Oh, the sun's so bright. You wanna run away with me. Any day of the week, I hope it's raining or it's pouring. Nothing can make me stay. You wanna ride just fine the way I am. And maybe my coffee's cold, and maybe I'm too old to ride the swings at the fair. But what's stopping me from doing what I please? If I want to, I'll ride the kiddie swings. Sometimes you have to grow up, even if it's just for a day at a time, or a Saturday ride. Sometimes trees get taller, we watch and admire as little boys turn into men behind our backs, moving too fast, the world spins. Goodbyes are hard, well at least we know what they are, and we were warned before. Well, maybe warnings don't work, and maybe I had to see for myself. Oh, but what's stopping me from being so naive? A broken heart once loved wholeheartedly. We watch and admire as little boys turn into men behind our backs, moving too fast. What's a heartbeat? What's a life without a breath of assurance? What's a situation without people being chance, I guess, a surprise. 'Cause behind our backs, I'm moving too fast. Whether you want it to or not, behind our backs, I'm moving too fast. The world spins. He's not afraid to love me, so why am I? I picture everything going smooth as can be, but that's a lie. And it always ends up that it's always my fault, 'cause I always mess up and it's you that I call. Who forgot to mention that love isn't always a walk in the park? Who misplaced the memo, and now you've got me wandering around in the dark. I don't wanna go very far from you. You gotta know that I'm learning to fall. mention that love is noise, a walk in the park. Who misplaced the memo, and knife got me wandering around in the dark, in the dark. I never liked the dark. What's the deal with love? I know I look confused, and it's all because, well, sadly it is you. Oh, what's the deal with time and all its fancy tricks? It's not like I haven't tried, but it's all together oh so quick. Oh, I just have to get over it. It's not so bad once I try, I'm sure. That's what they say, that's what I've heard. Hello, change. Maybe it's not so bad as I make it seem. Maybe I'm just classified as some sort of dramatic queen. Maybe I'm just worked up. Maybe I need a checkup. Maybe I'd be better off if I close my eyes with some sleep. Whoa, I'll just have to get over it. It's not so bad once I try, I'm sure. That's what they say, that's what I've heard. Hello, change. You are the icing on my cake. You are the smile I can't replace. You are the way you smile, the way you laugh, the way I can't help but catch your joy, your joy. Metaphorically, this song just says one thing: I love you. That's what I'm telling you. Oh, and there's no irony because I see what I mean. I love you. I love you. You are the minutes of my time, your inspiration to this rhyme. You are.
lovely saturated canary ladies. I think they came out really cute and I'm really pleased. So now let's cut them out. So as I said, we've got them on the silhouette. You can cut this out on the Cricut as well, similar process. If you want to know how I did this, etc., as I said earlier, I will link my previous blog post so that you can see how that's all done, but you can see how closely that was cutting around them. However, you may notice here that between the legs and up by her hair there was some white patches on both of them, so I decided while the little scroll was cutting out that I would just get my knife and just cut out those elements. However, when I got to the hair area of the this one, I cut a little bit out, but the other bits were just a little bit detailed round by her arm that was coming up to the sword there, so I actually decided to colour them in and make them more part of the hair, and I think that looks absolutely fine. And I prefer, because last time I didn't cut those middle bits out and I didn't really realise, but I think it looks a lot better. So next we're moving on to the scroll, which you can see I cut out on my silhouette here, and I spent some time colouring in the battens that you put the scroll around that would be made of wood, and I was making them nice and sort of graded in the colouring and everything, and I coloured it while they were still on the mat because it was easier to do it that way. However, after the fact I realised that of course my scroll was going to be covering almost all of that batten except for the ends, the way that I was putting it together, so I actually really only needed to do the two end bits, or at least do it just pretty much in one colour. So if you do that, don't make the mistake as I did. So next I just want to age this scroll. I did it on like a creamy coloured piece of paper, and I'm just taking some inks, some various distress inks, and I'm just going over the top with my blender tool here just to really age it down. So we're starting off just sort of pretty much going across the whole thing. You can see that the printing has come out kind of greeny coloured. That was actually not a deliberate effect. It was meant to be black, but I think my printer was just not working that well, but I quite liked that look. It's going to match really, really well with the colours that I'm using on my card, so I decided rather than reprint it using kind of a reinvigorated printer, I would leave it as it is and hope for the best. So as I said, we started off the paler colour and we blended sort of pretty much across all of it. You'll see there's a little bit where there's patches in the middle that sort of are still the cream, and then you'll notice I'm going for the slightly darker colour but just on the very edges, and you'll see that I'm starting my blending really off the scroll itself and hardly going on over the scroll itself, and you'll notice that it's sort of picking up because it's in the actual cut still is in the piece of paper. It's actually catching those edges with the ink without it kind of pushing those edges up, which is quite handy. That's why I do it on there. The sticky mat is basically holding it and helping it stay in place, and it's just making it a lot simpler for me to ink it up. And you'll notice I'm just putting a little bit more colour onto the corners and just basically carrying on inking that all the way around. So that's the scroll all inked up. We've just pulled the external piece of card away because that will make it easier to peel the scroll off without damaging it. Those little wood pieces you can see are obviously just where the ink has gone through the apertures where we pulled those pieces out earlier. They'll be easy to wipe off with a bit of alcohol, but there is our finished scroll, and I think it looks really, really effective. So for this card I am using an 8x8 pre-scored card base in ivory, and also it came in the pack with envelopes, which was handy, so they were matching and complementary, so that's really cool. So I've cut out two pieces of pattern paper, one from this dark brown which I've done at 7 3/4 square, and then the pattern mat I did at 7.5, so it basically leaves a 1/8 of an inch gap between each mat, so the outside of the card, then to the brown, and then from the brown to the green pattern paper. Now because it's quite light paper, I'm just using my tape pens to stick it down. It doesn't need anything stronger, that will hold it really well. And you can see there that I've also added a piece of pattern paper to the inside, that will match something that I'm going to do in a minute on the outside as well. So next I'm taking a piece of that brown again, and I'm just making it line up size wise to my ribbon that I'm going to use. So that is 8 by 1 3/4, and then the stripe border is 8 by 4 inches. So it's sort of a thin piece for just sitting behind my ribbon, and then a wider section which is going to go across the front of our card again. But before we do that, we're going to attach the ribbon. So I just cut a piece of this Silky Crush ribbon. It's really gorgeous ribbon in this lovely sort of taupe colour, and I'm just using my tape pen again. I'm just adding a little bit to the back there behind where it needs to stick, and then I'm just folding it around the back, and then when we stick that down, that will hold it even more securely again. So again, it's quite light ribbon, it's quite light card, but because there's several layers and I really want to make sure my ribbon stays put, I'm going to use some wet adhesive here, and on this occasion I'm using my Hunky Dory construction glue, but any wet glue that you have will work absolutely fine. So you can see here I'm just popping that on the front of our card. It goes right to the edge of the card, so past the mats, and I'm just sticking it on the lower edge. The next thing that I'm doing is I'm adding these swirls. Now in my previous version of this card I used pearls, but on this occasion I thought I'd go for crystals. It'd be sort of a lighter look. So all I do when I'm doing my crystal swirls is I cut out pieces that are sort of on the plastic still, and then I position them roughly where I want them so that I can see, because you don't need to use the whole swirl. You can cut a little element here, a little element there, and kind of put it together how you want, like a jigsaw. And then I peel the piece off, and you want to kind of almost let it hang so that it sort of gets into its own sort of position, because if you try and stick it down without sort of letting it just untangle itself, it will kind of sit incorrectly. So you'll see there I just did that, and it does make it a lot easier to stick these down, because I remember when I first used these, they were a pain. So you'll saw there that I also did a bit on the bottom as well. So now we're moving on to our scroll, and I'm just adding those little wood pieces, and I'm just using again my tape pen for that, and it's perfectly fine. It's quite a light piece of card, and I've added that to the top and the bottom. So the next thing I want to do is add a little bit of dimension to this. So first thing I'm going to do is start just bending it lightly, just giving it kind of like an S bend there, just to sort of add that in to help me when I add my foam etc on the back. Now you could use like pin flare glue gel or silicone glue if you still use that, something like that, but which is what I did on my last version of this card. But on this occasion I thought I'd show you it with some tape, foam tape, and you'll see that I put a piece at the top and the bottom, slightly thinner than the middle piece there, and then a thicker piece there in the middle, and then the bits that I want to actually adhere to the card itself, I'm using just the wet glue directly onto the scroll. And you'll also notice that I'm adding some wet glue to the foam there. Now the reason is that it needs, because you're bending it, you're forcing it into a position it doesn't actually want to be in, so I want to give it that extra bit of strength with the adhesive to make sure it stays where I want it and keeps the shape that I want it to have. And particularly on the bits that are going flat to the card below, it's going to need that extra strength to make sure that the card doesn't force it's sort of to ping up where to be level with the foam. So you want to hold that for a little while. I obviously cut that part out, but you want to make sure you just hold that down until it really starts to tape, because otherwise it does start to come off the card background and you lose that shape. So the next thing I do is I'm adding some foam to the back of my little people here. Now again, on the previous version I used my gel glue, but I thought again I'd try it and just show you what it's like using the foam. And again, I used the wet adhesive on top, this time not because I'm shaping them, although you could, if you wanted to, you could add a little dimension that way, but just because it's going on top of ribbon, etc., and different layers, and I just thought it would be safer and stronger that way. Now the way I'm positioning this is actually to get the shield. It sits, there's like a natural curve in the way that the verse is set out, and the same on the other side, there's like a little position where you can put the sword, so it just helped me line up those two characters. So they were stuck down, and again, as with the verse, I held those for a few minutes just to make sure they stayed in position. And then I felt like it still needed something more with regards to the crystals. I just felt it didn't quite have enough there, so I used some of these big crystals and put a couple in the corner. I still felt that the bottom there, the swirls, it needed a bit more. So this is what you can see here, what I was talking about earlier, where I just cut a piece off, still attached to the plastic, but then I can just work out exactly where do I want that to be positioned. I can see it on that clear background, but it just gives me an idea. And then you peel the whole lot off, let it sort of find its own groove, and then stick it down. So that's that finished. You can see I added a few pieces extra there. And then finally I just did a knot in a piece of the ribbon, literally to make a bow. I just knotted it in the center, and because it's a wide ribbon, it created a sort of fake look of a bow, and then just stuck that down using some of that construction adhesive. So that is the card finished. I hope you've enjoyed making this with me. I know it's been a crazy long video, but I really wanted to share with you a slightly different perspective to the one that we had on the previous version of this, which was really focusing more on the colouring. And as I said earlier, when I looked at it and sped it up, it was just too fast when I went to my normal sort of speed that I speed it up to. So I know it's made it a lot longer, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'd be interested to hear, as I say, your feedback on that. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go on across to the blog post to take a look at the photos that go with this card. Also, I'll put in the link to the previous video and links to products used, etc., etc. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.